If you like AFC East matchups, you're definitely not going to want to turn this one off until it's over, or you're bored. Welcome to Monday Night Football on Bills postgame. Let's talk Bills, let's talk Jets in a close one that was as close as you could get it. Bills versus Jets on Monday Night Football in MetLife Stadium on the Canadian Thanksgiving holiday. Let's have some turkey, let's grab some popcorn, and let's talk some football. My name is Scott. Let's get rolling. Welcome to Sports for Beginners. This is the show where I cover the Pittsburgh Penguins, Toronto Blue Jays, and take you on a journey through the world of sports. From the fans' perspective, here is your host, Scott McGregor. Let's have some fun. I don't even have to remind you, Bills Mafia, about what happened the last time the Bills played the Jets on Monday Night Football, because we all know what happened. Aaron Rodgers, he would not play the remainder of the game. Zach Wilson had to come in and, come in and play for him. So that was unfortunate. This time you get to see a full Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers game, and guess what? It turns into a victory Tuesday for the Buffalo Bills in a game that was as close as you could get it. On the bright side, Bills Mafia, what's going on? It's Victory Tuesday. Happy Victory Tuesday to you. My name is Scott McGregor. I'm the host of Bills Postgame. The Bills remain at the top of the chain. They are at the top of the food chain. They are still at the top of the mountain. Bills are 4-2. The Dolphins, meanwhile, when we look at the standings here, we'll do so over the course of the program here, but the Dolphins, who were on the bye week this week, are 3-2. The Jets are 2-4. The Patriots are 1-5. If the Jets won this game, the Bills might be in trouble with their AFC East number one spot, but they get the dub, a huge dub for the Bills, and they are heading into their short week against the Titans. They are heading into their short week against the Titans. We'll break it down, all the action, in just a couple of moments, but they are, as they head into their short week against the Titans at home in front of Bills Mafia, the Bills are atop of the AFC East and at a record of 4-2. The Jets are 2-4. We'll break it all down in just a couple of moments. But first, before we take our first break of the program, I mentioned on Penguins postgame at the end, we have some news to break. We have some news to break. The Buffalo Bills made a trade, and it is being finalized. Cody Benjamin here on the CBS Sports HQ app has said that in an article here, the Bills trade for Amari Cooper from the Dallas Cowboys to the Cleveland Browns, and the Cleveland Browns will send 5-time Pro Bowler Amari Cooper to Buffalo as Josh Allen lands another weapon. Hours after Devontae Adams reunited with Aaron Rodgers on the New York Jets, The AFC East is getting another big name wide receiver shakeup with the Buffalo Bills acquiring five-time Pro Bowler Amari Cooper from the Cleveland Browns. The Bills announced the trade and terms of the deal Tuesday. Cleveland gets a 2025 third-round draft pick plus a 2026 seventh-round pick in exchange for Cooper and a 2025 sixth-round pick. The 30-year-old Amari Cooper just reworked his contract with the Browns ahead of the 2024 season, but will now go from one of the NFL's worst teams to a potential AFC title contender in Buffalo, which bested the Jets to stay atop the AFC East on Monday night. He sought a pay raise in Cleveland over the summer and had struggled to stay on the same page as quarterback Deshaun Watson during the Browns' 1-5 start. All right, well, we'll get into more on Amari Cooper on another episode of Sports for Beginners, but this is all about this one right here as we continue on with our double trouble. This one right here, as we continue on, is all about the Bills beating the Jets 23-20. We'll break it all down after we take a quick timeout, but before we get there, head coaches of this game, Sean McDermott for the Buffalo Bills, and I want to say Robert Saleh, but the Jets left him behind in London, and they now have a new head coach in Jeff Ubridge. Jeff Ubridge is the interim head coach for the now 2-4 New York Jets. He was the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. He is now the head coach as the New York Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh and left him behind. Their owners are Robert Wood Johnson V, and the owners of the Buffalo Bills are Terry and Kim Pagula. Head coach of the Bills is Sean McDermott. Quarterback for the New York Jets in this game, Aaron Rodgers, the former Packer. And of course, your quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, JA17. So, new head coach for the New York Jets is Jeff Ubridge. Hopefully I have that correct. Jeff, if I pronounced the last name wrong, I apologize. But Jeff is the interim head coach for the New York Jets. And they still lost this game 23-20. But man, was it ever entertaining. Again, happy Victory Tuesday to you, Bills Mafia. What a game that was on Monday Night Football. What a game that was on Monday Night Football. Let's take a break. As we take the break, I want to send you to the locker room for the speech after the ball game from head coach Sean McDermott and Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Let's send you over there as we go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we'll break it all down quarter by quarter, half by half. But right now, I want to send you over to the post-game victory speech from Josh and Sean McDermott to set up short week against the Titans, but still atop the AFC East. To the credit of Sean McDermott, by the way, just before we get there, he said, found a way. The Bills found a way to win this very close game. And we'll break it all down when we return to Bills postgame. But right now, let's take you to Sean McDermott and Josh Allen. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Oh, it wasn't pretty, but I'm going to tell you what, man. You found a way. You found a freaking way. That's what toughness does. You guys hung together all three phases, man. Whatever it takes, that's what we got to do. Proud of you guys. In 17, way to draw it up in the dirt, baby. Let's be smart, man. We got a short week now, right? Let's carry this over into the next one, man. A lot of clean up. But at the end of the day, put the ball down, man. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We know it wasn't pretty, but I'm going to tell you what, man. You found a way. You found a freaking way. That's what toughness does. You guys hung together all three phases, man. Whatever it takes, that's what we got to do. Proud of you guys. In 17, way to draw it up in the dirt, baby. Let's be smart, man. We got a short week now, right? Let's carry this over into the next one, man. A lot of clean up. But at the end of the day, put the ball down, man. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Bills postgame will be back right after this.
Looking for conversations on books and more, as well as tutorials on using your favorite devices and applications? You've come to the right place. Join us weekly on Spicy Techie, where Ali and Sienna provide insightful conversations, as well as useful tips and tricks to help you along on your technological journey. To learn more, tune into the show and like the Spicy Techie Facebook page. Search for Spicy Techie.
Looking for conversations on the world of broadcasting, sports media, and from time to time, my favorite sports teams? Listen to Broadcast Map with me, Ali Musa. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Broadcast Map Facebook page. Search Broadcast Map.
Welcome back to Bills postgame. Bills and the Jets, the wraparound of our double trouble here. At the end of the program here, we will let you guys in on how Double Trouble will be working for Bills at Titans, and of course, Penguins at Jets. We will let you guys in on that a little later in our show here. Didn't do that in our Penguins post-game show, but we will let you guys know how that is going to work out on Sunday, October the 20th, when the Penguins battle the Winnipeg Jets. And when the Penguins battle the Winnipeg Jets, and of course, we see the rise of the Bills versus the Titans in Highmark Stadium. We'll bring that all to you a little later in the show. But it's time for the game breakdown, so it's time to get into the action as Allen and the Bills overcome Rodgers' Hail Mary and beat the New York Jets to take control in the AFC East. How are we feeling, Bills Mafia? I hope everyone is enjoying their Victory Tuesday. game balls of the game coming up after our game totals, which are coming up after this segment where we break it all down. So make sure that you are sticking around for that, because here we go. We'll break it all down starting right now. So, Greg Zuerlein, didn't he used to play for the Rams? He did. He did indeed. Yes, he did indeed. Used to play for the... He did indeed. Yes, he did indeed. Play for the Rams before. Anyway, he's a New York Jet now. And gets the game started with a 34-yard field goal to give the Jets their first lead of the game. That quickly taken away as Josh Allen denied his first opportunity, but he would not be denied the second opportunity that he gets after a penalty takes away the touchdown. Guess what? Second time Josh has an opportunity to score a touchdown, he'll get the 1-yard touchdown for a run, and it's 7-3 Buffalo as Tyler Bass hits the extra point, and the Bills are ahead 7-3. They're ahead by 4. Not for long. Garrett Wilson gets a pass from Aaron Rodgers for a 5-yard touchdown. And after the first quarter, leading by 7, the New York Jets lead the Bills by 7. It's the Jets 10 and the Bills 7. So after 1 quarter of play, they lead by 3, excuse me. The Jets lead by 3, leading 10-7 after 1 quarter of play. Josh Allen finds Mac Hollins for an 8-yard touchdown to kick off the second quarter, and that makes it 13-10. Bills up by 3. Tyler Bass's extra point would have put the Bills up by 4, but it's no good. So the Bills go up by 3. Next play that the Bills get. This one was ruled incomplete, but... Well, actually, no, it wasn't ruled incomplete. They give the touchdown to Dawson Knox, a 12-yard touchdown. A little bit of a toe tap. And the Bills go up 20-10. Bills up by 10. Once again, Tyler Bass misses the extra point. Extra point, no good. So the Bills up by 10. Later in the second quarter, with no time left, the Bills could be leading at the half by 10. But Aaron Rodgers, if you've watched him in Green Bay, you know Aaron Rodgers is going to do this. Hail Mary, Anthony Lazard, 52-yard touchdown. Jets. Jets, Jets. And Greg Zuerlein, extra point up and good. And the Bills now leading 20-17 at the half. With no time remaining, Bills on top by 3 at the half. And, oh boy, things are getting intense. Third quarter we go. Jets drive stalls out with 6:17 at the time of the score. If Greg Zuerlein makes this field goal, we're tied at 20. It's from 22 yards. Easy peasy, right? Yep, indeed. He hits it. We're knotted up at 20 apiece. 20-20 after 3 quarters. After the half. When the Bills were leading by 3. Only down by 3 points. To the fourth quarter we go. And after Greg Zuerlein also missed some field goals, a doink after a doink. And no penalty was called on Buffalo. To the fourth quarter we go. Tyler Bass. He had missed 2 extra points before. Well, yes, he had missed an extra point. He actually had missed 1 extra point, but made an extra point once. He had missed 2 extra points, as I said. Yep, that's correct. He did miss 2 extra points. He only gets 1 field goal opportunity, and if he does, the Bills could win this game 23-20. Penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct on Jay Kinlaw, but Bass is at 22-yard extra point, or field goal rather, is good. And the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty to Jay Kinlaw enforced between downs for a 15-yard penalty. Later in the fourth, this was actually before it happened. This was actually after this was after the field goal. Later in the fourth, Taron Johnson, he might be able to get some hot. And we go down to 3rd down and 16 after offensive holding on 2nd down and 8. Forced the Jets to 2nd down and 16 on 3rd down. Aaron Rodgers, pass intended for Williams. Taron Johnson kicks it. Taron Johnson is on the call. He gets the ball and picks off Aaron Rodgers at the Buffalo 18. The Jets had a chance to win this game with a game-winning score to send Buffalo to 3-3 and improve to 3-3 on the season. But Taron Johnson says, "Looky what I got." No gain on the interception for Taron Johnson, but he gets the ball. Williams was injured on the play. Taron Johnson goes up and gets it, though, and intercepts that pass to Williams. And Williams, though, was intercepted, he was injured on the play, so we hope he's all right. End of the game. 1st and 10 for Buffalo. Alec Anderson reported in as eligible. Ray Davis up the middle for 5 yards. Alec Anderson still in as eligible. Ray Davis for a yard. This one, we go down to 3rd and 4. The Bills need 4. Josh Allen, he could run. And he does run here to the Buffalo 30 for 6 yards. 1st down, Buffalo. And then Josh kneels the rest of the way at the Buffalo 30, the Buffalo 29, and the Buffalo 28-yard line. They lose 2 yards on the play, each play, going from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 11, and 3rd down and 12 to close out the game. Bills win it 23-20, and the Bills have sole possession of the AFC East as they prepare to take on the one and only Tennessee Titans next week, in a short week. Game stats coming up in just a moment, and more on Amari Cooper, but we will take a break. When we come back, game stats, game balls, the play of the game, and still lots more to come on Bills postgame. Stick with us because we'll be right back on this Victory Tuesday edition of Bills postgame. Bills win it 23-20 over the New York Jets in their final Monday Night Football game of the season. For now, because you never know, we could see a Monday Night Football game scheduled later in the season. So we will take a break. When we come back, game totals, game balls of the game, the play of the game, and time permitting, a look around week 6 in the NFL, which featured the bye weeks before we take this break, of the Miami Dolphins, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Minnesota Vikings. Those teams will be back at it next week, but we're taking a look at this week from week 6 games. We'll break it all down for you, including one that was all in but over, but the shouting in that second half in New Orleans. That was probably one of the worst games I've seen New Orleans play in this season. Probably one of the worst games of the season. We will break it all down for you over the course of these next 2 commercial breaks. You're listening to Buffalo Bills Football on Sports for Beginners, part of Double Trouble, and we'll be right back right after this. Looking for a sports podcast that covers sports weekly as well as gets you set up for the day? Check out Weekly in Sports with me, Scott McGregor. We give some shout-outs of the week to podcasts like this one and those who do them. Discuss the Blue Jays, Bills, Raptors, and more. To learn more, check out the Sports for Beginners Facebook page. Search Sports for Beginners.
Take another look with Gerda Felix and Melanie Taddeo Malo, 2 powerful women of diverse backgrounds having genuine, unique, and uncomfortable conversations that everyone needs to have. Join Melanie and Gerda for conversations about what is missing from human connections.
Welcome back to Bills postgame. Bills beat the Jets 23-20, the final score. And it's time now for the game totals, the game balls of the game, and the play of the game coming up in this segment as well. We'll take a break and get ready to preview the Jets' next opponent as well as the Bills' next opponent after we're done with that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Time of possession, the Bills had the ball for 29 minutes and 34 seconds. The Jets, 30 minutes and 26 seconds on the ball. Time of possession, the Bills, 24 first downs, 10 both rushing and passing. 12 of the first downs were passing. 20 first downs for the Jets, 24 for the Bills. 10 of them for the Bills, both rushing and passing. 12 of them, of the 20 for the New York Jets, were passing. 5 of them on the ground. 4 automatic first downs for the Bills, penalty-wise. 3 for the Jets, penalty-wise. On third down efficiency, the Bills, 5 of 11. They were really good on third down efficiency in this game. That's more than we could say for the New York Jets, who were 4 of 12 on third down efficiency. Nothing to discuss here. Fourth down efficiency, 0 for 0 for both squads. The Bills finished the game with a total yardage of 359 yards. Total, 60 plays play called, averaged 6 yards per play. For the New York Jets, they averaged 6.7 yards per 59 plays, and they had the end of the game. They end the game with 393 yards, 294 yards passing for the Jets, 215 yards passing for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen was 19 of 25 in completion attempts. The New York Jets were 23 of 35. Aaron Rodgers was 23 of 35 for his completion attempts, averaging 7.2 yards per pass, lost 22 yards on 3 sacks. The Bills lost 5 yards on 2 sacks, Allen averaging 7.8 yards per pass. Rushing yards for the Bills, it was 149. For the Jets, 121. 21 rushes, 33 rushes for the Bills, 21 for the Jets. They averaged 5.8 yards per rush. The Bills averaging 4.5 yards per rush. Bills 2 of 3 in goal to go efficiency. In red zone efficiency, the Bills are 3 of 4. The Jets 1 of 4 in red zone efficiency. Goal to go efficiency 1 of 2 for the New York Jets, I should say. 94 yards on 11 penalties to Buffalo for 94 yards. For the New York Jets, they got 110 yards on 11 penalties. So both teams, 11 penalties each. Only 1 turnover, that goes to the Jets. 1 fumble, but no fumble loss. There was 1 attempt at fumbles for both sides. Nobody lost a fumble. An interception was thrown. That would be the only takeaway in this game. And that was thrown by Aaron Rodgers. Catch made by Taron Johnson. Welcome back to the lineup, Taron Johnson. 3 touchdowns for the Bills. 1 on the ground, 2 passing. 2 touchdowns both in the air for the New York Jets. None in the air, none rushing, I should say, on the ground. Defensive special teams, no touchdowns for either squad. The Jets finished the game with return yards of 41 yards. The Bills with 24 return yards. No punt yards and no attempts. In 1 attempt punting, the Jets got 8 yards returned. The Jets got 33 yards in their 1 kickoff return. No yards in the interception yards returned by Taron Johnson. 1 interception. No interceptions by the Jets defense. But nobody also got safety in this game. And the Bills in 1 attempt kickoff return yard got 24 yards. They got 24 yards. So there we have it. There is your game totals. All right, going to take some time here before we get to the game balls of the game and the play of the game to actually run over week number 6 in the NFL. So here we go. It all began with an interesting one in Seattle as the Seahawks fell to the 49ers 36-24, and the Niners evade a comeback from the Seattle Seahawks. 36-24 the final in Seattle on Thursday Night Football this week. Which, of course, Thursday Night Football this week is New Orleans Saints host the Denver Broncos. But more on that a little later in our program. On to Sunday we go. in the Monday night football game, the Bengals beat the Giants 17-7. And of course, we were the Monday night football game. The Bills beat the Jets 23-20. The Bears went to town on the Jacksonville Jaguars in the London game. In the international game, they finished the game 35-16 over the Jaguars. The Ravens beat the Commanders 30-23. The Packers, Aaron Rodgers' old Packers team, beats Kyler Murray 34-13. Speaking of blowouts, though, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeat the Saints 51-27. But they aren't the only team with a blowout. As much as you want to say that, the Texans beat the Patriots 41-21. Eagles take down the Browns 20-16. The Colts beat the Titans 20-17. Speaking of the Broncos, who have Thursday night football this week coming up, they fall to the Chargers 23-16. Steelers home game in Vegas? Looked like it, as the Steelers beat the Las Vegas Raiders 32-13. The Detroit Lions, it looked like a home game in Dallas between the Lions and the Cowboys, as the Lions go to town on Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. 47-9 the final there. And last but certainly not least, the Falcons beat the Panthers 38-20. And of course, that'll wrap up our week 6 games. So, lots to talk about here. But let's keep it to the game we are talking about now. You heard early on our victory speech from Sean McDermott and Josh Allen. That's our focus for this game. That is our focus for this game. So, it's time for the play of the game. And for me, my play of the game is going to go to Taron Johnson. Big interception. Saves the game, which would have ended in a Jets win over the Bills. That saved this game after Tyler Bass got that 22-yard field goal. So I'm going to give my play of the game to Taron Johnson's interception. Again, hopefully Matt Williams, or whoever it was that was intercepted there. Aaron Rodgers was the guy who threw it. But hopefully Williams is okay. He was injured on the play. And we did have a fumble that was lost. Recovered by Gregory Rousseau. Terrell Bernard fumbled Aaron Rodgers. Oh, never mind. So there was a fumble on Aaron Rodgers, but the officials went to review, and Aaron Rodgers would be credited with a incomplete pass, short middle. So Terrell Bernard would still get the sack, but the fumble won't count. All right, well, you could have got one of two things happening there, an interception or a fumble. Regardless, my play of the game belongs to Taron Johnson, the interception. Hopefully Matt Williams is okay, or Williams is all right. We'll see what happens over the course of the week as we get ready for the next week. So the Jets also have a short week. because are they playing this week? They are indeed playing this week. They will play the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. So the Bills and the Jets have a short week. The Jets play Sunday Night Football. They will play the Steelers. The Bills, who are welcoming Amari Cooper to Buffalo, they will have a short week and get set to go against the Titans this Sunday. And of course, that's another edition of Penguins postgame. It's a double trouble on Sports for Beginners. 2 double troubles in a week. Wow. I didn't think that was going to happen. But the Bills get the Titans at home against. They are at home against the Titans. And we'll see the Bills try to get a win and go to 5-2 at home against the Titans. We'll see what happens when the Bills and Titans collide this Sunday. The Penguins season has already just gotten underway, but they have an afternoon matinee with the Winnipeg Jets on Sunday, so looking forward to that one. Of course, they'll have a night off after they play their next 2 matchups with its the Buffalo Sabres tomorrow night, Penguins and the Sabres tomorrow night, then the Carolina Hurricanes on Friday night. They'll then play the Jets of Winnipeg on Sunday afternoon, We'll talk about double trouble on that and a little bit later when we get to our final break of the program. But just before we wrap up for this segment here, game ball of the game for me for Buffalo. I've got two. And the game ball of the game is what we are calling our player of the game segment. So for me, my game ball of the game is going to go to... Who's it going to go to? I'm going to give it to Ray Davis. I thought he played really, really well. 15 yards was his longest rush. 97 yards at the end of the game, 20 attempts, 20 carries, averaging 4.8 yards a carry. And my runner-up is Dalton Kincaid, 51 yards receiving on 7 targets, 6 receptions for 51 yards, averaging 8.5 yards a catch. His longest catch was 15 yards. Ray Davis's longest catch was a 42-yarder. Who does that remind you of? Because there was a guy who got a 42-yarder a while ago. I think it was maybe last week, Maybe it was last week, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the week before. Regardless, we had a 42-yarder a week or so ago before. Maybe it was last week. I'm going to have to double check to make sure. But anywho, we're going to go with Dalton Kincaid and Ray Davis as my game balls of the game for the Buffalo Bills. Also want to give some credit to Josh Allen. I thought he did really well. 9 attempts, 9 carries, 18 yards, 6 yards his longest run. threw for 215 yards, 19 completions on 25 attempts, 8.6 yards a pass, 2 TDs. For the New York Jets, going to give our first game ball of the game as a pick-me-up to Aaron Rodgers. 23 of 35 completion attempts for 294 yards, averaging 8.4 yards a pass, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 3 sacks. He gave up 3 sacks for 22 yards. So a lot to work on for the New York Jets, and a lot to work on, a lot to clean up for Buffalo. Next up, it's our game ball of the game recipient, which is going to go to Breece Hall. 18 carries, 113 yards, 6.3 yards averaged. His longest run was 42 yards. And Breece Hall was also involved in the passing game. 6 targets, 5 catches, 56 yards, averaging 11.2 yards a catch. His longest catch was 24 yards. Adam Lazard. I should have mentioned that earlier. I probably messed up his name when I did the scoring. Sorry about that, Lazard. Adam Lazard, I believe that is the name. 7 targets, 6 receptions, a touchdown. 52 yards, the longest catch. 114 yards, averaging 19 yards a catch. That's a guy we really had to be on our toes with. And probably one of the main reasons the Bills almost lost this game. We'll see. But anyways, those are our game balls of the game. Top performers are Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers in passing, Breece Hall, Ray Davis, and Adam Lazard, also accompanying Ray Davis on receiving end for the amount of yardage each guy had. All right. When we come back on the other side, we've done our Week 6 wraparound. We'll get you set up for the Titans and the Bills. What's next for the Jets? What's next for our podcast? All of that coming up. Plus a little bit more on the Amari Cooper trade. All of it coming up. Still to come here on Bills Postgame as we wrap up our first edition of Double Trouble for 2024. Double Trouble will return on Sunday when the Bills play the Titans and the Penguins play the Jets. That and more coming up when Bills Postgame continues right after this. Looking for a good hockey podcast that covers your favorite hockey teams and mine? Check out On the Ice and Behind the Benches, where we chat about our favorite hockey teams from puck drop to the last play of the action. To learn more, follow the On the Ice and Behind the Benches Facebook page. Search On the Ice and Behind the Benches. And we're back here on Bill's postgame show, the final segment of the show. It's time now to preview the Bills' Week 7 opponent versus the Titans and Tyler Rowland's Titans, who come into this game at a record of, let's see, what's our Titan record now? The Bills are 4-2. Where are the Titans at right now? The Titans will come into this game as a record of... So the Titans are facing the 4-2 Bills, which are controllers of their own destiny and controllers of the AFC East. The Tennessee Titans, however, are 1-4. They're looking for 2-4 if they can beat the Bills on Sunday. They are 1-4 on the season. Who knows? Maybe they're maybe they are 1-5 at the end of the game on Sunday. We will see. They've had their bye, so they are full steam ahead after Buffalo. Buffalo's bye week is still to come, and the Bills will have a few more games before that bye week in week number 12, which means we're still going to have tons of NFL football here on Bills Post Game before we go to a bye and get back for Sunday Night Football. No more primetime games the rest of the way till the bye, and then we're back in prime time when the Bills take on the Niners. So the final 4 games coming up after the Titans next week are at the Seahawks, home to the Dolphins, at the Colts, and home to the Chiefs, who have been a thorn in Buffalo's side anytime the Bills make the playoff. Speaking of which, if we talk to Ryan Talbot, which is my game plan, I will be reaching out to Ryan about that. Maybe we'll get Ali to come on and talk a little bye week content there as well. But all things considered, we're keeping an eye on how every team is doing in the league. Right now, it looks like the Bills are very, very interesting and making a case they're making a case to become AFC East title contenders this season. Can they do it? I think they can. Let me know what you think as we roll on here. So, as mentioned, up next for the Bills, it's the Titans and their quarterback, who hasn't really had a good year. Will Levis, he hasn't really had a good year. 7 interceptions, 699 yards, 5 TDs, 7 interceptions. Josh Allen is now, for the season, he is now over 1,160 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, no picks. The leading rusher for the Bills right now is James Cook, who was out for this game. Could possibly play this week against the Titans, but we don't know. He is the league's lead rusher for the team with 309 yards rushing, 4 TDs on 70 attempts. The lead rusher for the Titans is Tony Pollard. 3 touchdowns, 78 attempts, 339 yards. Kale Shakir, leading rusher for the Bills, 249 yards, 2 TDs, 2 catches, 20 catches, I should say. That's against DeAndre Hopkins. 175 yards, 1 touchdown, 14 catches. And, a lot could be said there, but those are the season leaders in terms of the offense. We're not really worried about the defense there. But once again, our timeline for this game 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And the timeline for the Penguins and the Jets is at 3 p.m. Eastern from Winnipeg. All right, so with all that being said, the Bills get the Titans next week. They'll get the Seahawks the following week. The Dolphins wrap it up as we enter the month of December. They wrap up their 2-game set with the Bills on December the 3rd. On November 3rd, excuse me, I should say. Because we're not into December at that time. We're not into December at that time. By the time the Bills play the 49ers, we will be in December. And that will kick off our countdown to the season finale of season number 3 of Sports for Beginners. We'll talk about that as we count down over the course of the program. We will hear, I'm going to try to get Ryan Talbot into the studio here for a bi-week content show. If you are listening to this, Joe Marino, I'm also going to be looking for you as well as we go over the bi-week. If I can't get anyone, you know what? I'll just do a bi-week show myself. Anyways, before we get to the bye week, we got the Titans next week, the Seahawks the following week, the Dolphins the week after that, the Colts, and then the Chiefs. So altogether, 4 CBS programs still to come, including one at 4:25 before the bye week. And we have a 4:05 game against the Seahawks the week after this week, which is against the Titans here in Buffalo. With that being said, we are almost at the end of the deal, almost at the end of the show. Up next for the Jets, well, their bye week is right around the same bye week as the Bills. So they have yet to have their bye. Up next is Sunday Night Football for them. It's a short week, but it's another primetime game for the Jets as they go head-to-head with the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Then they're off to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. They'll take on the Houston Texans, Arizona Cardinals, and the Indianapolis Colts, who get the Bills before they get the Jets. The week the Cardinals play the Jets. That will lead into the bye week, and that's actually another Sunday Night Football game. They'll play the Texans before they play the Cardinals. That's a Thursday Night Football action game. Looking forward to that one. That ought to be a good one. When they return from the bye week, they've got the Seahawks, Dolphins, Jags, Rams, Bills, Dolphins to close out the season. All right, so no Jets football for the Bills until after the bye week. For the Bills, after the bye week, they won't be facing the Dolphins, but they will be looking to wrap up their division series with the Jets. They'll also play the Patriots. Before that, they get the Titans, Seahawks, the Dolphins, Colts, and the Chiefs. The Rams, Lions, and Niners before AFC matchups wrap up the Bills season. The Bills overcome the Jets, 23-20, the final score. Hope everyone's enjoyed their Victory Tuesday. That is going to do it for this edition of Double Trouble. We're back at it again right after the Bills game against the Titans, and then right after the game, unless we move it to Monday, right after the game between the Penguins and the Jets. Our coverage will start right after each game. Starting off on the gridiron, we will recap the Titans and the Bills. Then we'll recap Jets and Penguins. So we'll flip in the script here. Bills postgame before Penguins postgame. But we got 2 Penguin postgame shows before we get to that point. All beginning tomorrow night with the Sabres and the Penguins. Our coverage starting almost 15 minutes or so, maybe even a few minutes after the final whistle. So make sure you check us out for that. Game time is 7 p.m. Eastern. Does Gino get 500 goals? Does Sidney Crosby get 1,1600 points? We'll find out all the answers before we get to the next Double Trouble on Sports for Beginners, the podcast. All right. As for Bills postgame, have a great rest of your Victory Tuesday, Bills Mafia. Bills win it 23-20 on Monday Night Football. Short week, Bills versus Titans. And our buddy on Locked On Bills, your daily centric podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Joe Marino has you covered to get you ready for Bills and Titans. I will talk to you before I talk to the Penguins and the Jets fans after Bills and Titans. As always, go Bills. And before we leave the show, the official for this game was Adrian Hill. The attendance record, holy moly, 81,118 fans in attendance at MetLife Stadium. Adrian Hill, the referee. All right, and now, go Bills. I look forward to catching up with you again Sunday after the Titans and the Bills game. Enjoy the ball game. Enjoy the hockey game between the Penguins and the Jets. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Penguins fans, for Penguins and Sabres, and I'll talk to you again on Friday for the Pens and the Hurricanes. Penguins pre-show returns Friday, and I will be back with you after the game for the Pens and the Hurricanes. But until then, Bills Mafia, have a great rest of your Victory Tuesday. Enjoy the action on Sunday. Enjoy Thursday Night Football this Thursday night between the Broncos and the Saints. And I look forward to catching up with you again real soon. This is Scott McGregor signing off for Bills Postgame and for Double Trouble on Sports for Beginners podcast. Have a great rest of your day. Go Bills, and I look forward to catching up with you again real soon. Shout, the time has come to take us out. Let's go, boys.
The Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen.
Go Bills, and I will catch you on Sunday, Bills Mafia. Thank you so much for listening to Sports for Beginners. If you would like to learn more about the show, you can visit the podcast Facebook page or visit the official website. You can also send us an email at sportsforbeginnerspodcast8231@gmail.com. As we always remind you, it is not goodbye, it is until next time.